So, I talked earlier about God's masterpiece, and that's the theme for Holiday Club this year. And I thought I'd explain a little bit about what that means and what I mean by that. So I've brought in my masterpiece, my Lego masterpiece anyway. I do have another masterpiece. It's like the best thing you've ever made. So I did make a garden for Chelsea Flower Show once. That's my actual masterpiece, but I couldn't bring it in, so... I did keep that quiet until the garden was done, for good reason. So this is my Lego masterpiece. It fits on a table, so I thought I'd bring it in. I've spent hours and hours on it. Just the Millennium Falcon takes 6 hours to build. This one's a nice 2.5, so a bit easier. But it's been years in the making. I've bought these things over several years and put them all together, and it's taken a lot of money. I'll be honest, a few £100 right there, pushing 1,000 maybe. Anyway, I'm really proud of putting it all together, and I've had it on display until I got married, and. But I want you to think of a masterpiece that you've created. It probably isn't going to be Lego, and I'd like to avoid children, although they are the masterpiece you've created. We're going to avoid children and aim for inanimate objects because of the thought process we're going to go through in a moment. So something you've written, something you've made out of clay or Play-Doh or painted or whatever. I want you to picture that in your mind. I want to picture... being in the room with your creation, and someone comes in. I'm going to move this a little bit. Ooh, can't believe that worked. Someone comes in and they grab your creation and just rip it up, or throw it on the floor, or throw it out the window. That would be devastating, wouldn't it? Like losing your masterpiece is awful. You might have worked out why I've come off the stage. Because it would be like someone coming in here, grabbing the table and just launching it. Whew. It makes you sad. It's not very fun at all, I'll be honest. And I think it's worse when somebody else wrecks your creation. But luckily I did that one, so I can beat myself up about it. Whew. I do need a moment. I've done this twice in assemblies in the last 3 weeks as well. It's been a tough month. But Lego can be rebuilt. That's why I do it with Lego. Sadly, the Chelsea Flower Show garden we created, after a week of being on display, we then threw it in the back of a rubbish truck and it was crushed. And that's like, oh, that's awful. I don't want to keep throwing stuff in here. Obviously, they kept lots of the plants. They don't throw everything away. And the bench we created is actually in the BBC garden. So, you know, I didn't make that one though, anyway. So why am I doing all of this? It's because God has a masterpiece. We call it the world and everything in it, including the wonderful people, beautiful animals, incredible plants, and breathtaking views. It's all part of God's masterpiece. But sadly, someone's breaking it. Us. People have spent hundreds of years destroying the planet and making the whole world worse and worse and worse. Now, to be fair, they didn't know for a very long time that they were making it quite as bad as we are. But we now know, and we should be doing something to make it better. Now, this is a bit that I didn't add to the assembly. It is really complicated, isn't it? We were told, I say we, I was too young, but you were told to buy diesel cars because they're better than petrol. And then it turned out that was a lie, and petrol cars are better than diesel. You're told to buy electric cars, and then you're not quite sure if they're actually better because apparently they build them all over the planet. And it's really complicated. It's difficult to make these decisions. Solar panels are great. They supply electricity without having to burn fossil fuels, but they have finite resources in them, and they only last 10, 15 years. It's really complicated and can be very overwhelming. But there's lots we can be doing to make it better. And I found out recently that if you crush a Coke can before you put it in the recycling, it's less likely to be recycled because a machine can't recognize it as a can, so it just gets dumped. And obviously they're not magnetic, so you can't pick them up. Which was fascinating. I didn't know that at all. And things like if you leave the tap on for the 2 minutes whilst you're brushing your teeth, you waste 15 litres of water. That's an insane amount. I guess it depends on your water pressure, but that's a crazy amount of water. And we can be learning new things, new ways to be helping the environment and helping each other. Our weekly email that goes out has a little eco tip at the bottom. You can read that every week and learn something new. There's lots we can be doing. And part of Holiday Club this year will be teaching the kids some of the stuff they can be doing. We're going to talk about creation and how God has created everything and handed it over to us to be stewards, but also how he continues to protect the people and the animals and the environment, but that really it should be down to us. And obviously they'll get lots of tips on how they can be helping out the planet. So, although absolutely devastating, I think destroying my masterpiece shows how awful it can feel. One time when I did this sermon, I've done it far too many times, someone actually jumped out of their seat to try and save the Lego as I threw it, at the time, into the baptistry, which was a lot louder. People get really invested in stuff. We get invested in stuff. And if we're created in God's image, and we love things, maybe a little bit too much sometimes, but we love things and cherish things that we've created, surely God does the same. He loves us. He loves the world that he's created. He cherishes it. And so when we destroy it, he feels sad. And so that's what we're going to talk about with the kids. I could go on for hours. I'm not going to. So